everybody, this is Kristie with AG Takes Over. I'm so glad you're here. I'm really excited about the topic of today's video, but first, this is not the topic, but do you recognize this? If you've been to an American Girl cafe or bistro and you've gone into the private party room to have your birthday party, this is the birthday girl chair. It's so iconic. It's so gaudy and ridiculous. I'll show a picture of just the chair, but it's like kind of narrowish for, for me. I'm thick-hipped, so it's like narrow, but fine. And the regular chair part is normal, like it's fuchsia, but the crazy part is this thing is over 5 feet tall. It just keeps going. It's taller than I am, so it's like over 5'6". So I've been sitting on this, it's a chair and I've been sitting on it. I've been sitting on this news for a little while because I didn't want anybody to get in trouble. The store gave it to us. It wasn't a dumpster dive or anything. So they apparently had planned to give it, they donated like ottomans, benches, different things to different, some of the shelving went to the Chicago store. Some of it went to the backroom shelving went to Dallas. A lot of the things that weren't offered up to the employees, dolls and things like that, all went to one charity. And which is good because as my understanding is, that hasn't always been the case. Sometimes the products have just been destroyed. So shout out to the management, the regional management here in Central Ohio that advocated for being able to donate that stuff. So a whole lot of it was donated. And this chair was supposed to be one of the items. And the charity that was receiving them, the organization that was receiving it, said, we don't really have room for that chair. So the day that the store was closing, one of the employees reached out to my wife and said, hey, do the two of you want this chair? And she sent me a message while I was at work, and I was like, hell yes, I want that chair. Of course I do. It's crazy. It's so obnoxious, but it's so iconic. And she said, and where will we put it? And I said, in the basement. I'll film in it. And then she said, and anytime somebody has a birthday, we'll bring it upstairs. So yeah. On the final day that it closed, they had it out and everybody was sitting in it the whole time. Kids were coming in and families, whatever, adults, everybody who loved the store and maybe had or hadn't ever had a private party and had the opportunity to sit in this. If you hadn't had that chance, it was a chance to do it. Good photo opportunity. And if you had, you're like, oh, I remember the times that I was here as the celebrant and sat in that chair. So they had it just out on the floor all day. And since we stayed till the absolute closing of the store, I just went and got the car and pulled it around and bungeed it. And some of it was sticking out because it's so obnoxiously tall. Yeah. So this is our piece of the store that we get to keep forever. We got a little star that maybe I'll take a picture and put that in here too. Why not? I'm not gonna make a separate video for just that. But we got one of the stars, and that's now on the upstairs doll room / my workspace. So yeah, on the door. Looks like you're going into a dolly store. So anyway, this kind of does tie in because the meetup that we had that was prompted by the closing of the store also prompted us to really want to capitalize on, okay, people are going to come to this meetup. We're going to have all of these Central Ohio doll fans in one space at one time. Then after the store closes, it's going to be harder to gather people and get that momentum. So the day before the meetup, Grace set up a Facebook group, Central Ohio AG Doll Group. I think that's what it's called. I'll put it up here. And we told people, hey, get on the Facebook group if you live in Central Ohio or are willing to drive to Central Ohio for events. And we will have some events. After the store closes, we will keep it going. We'll keep some magic alive, even though we don't have that as a place that we can go to anymore. And so yesterday, today's St. Patrick's Day. I don't know when you're seeing this, but yesterday was our first official meetup, and that's what I want to share about. It was so lovely. We already have one planned for the summer, and I do not share this to rub it in anybody's face. I share it, one, because I'm excited and I like to share the things that I'm excited about, and two, because it was easy. It was so easy to do, and a lot of times people say, I wish there were opportunities like that in my area. But there weren't opportunities like that in our area. We looked for the people and we created the opportunity, and it wasn't hard. So I won't say that anybody can do it. I won't say that every area has enough people, but maybe you can. And maybe your area does have enough people and you just haven't found them yet. So I know one of the people at the meetup yesterday said, I did not ever realize that this many adult collectors were in Central Ohio. I literally had one doll collector friend in this area. I did not realize that there were more people. So maybe you aren't by yourself wherever you are, and maybe this is something you could do. So anyway, what was the event? It was so simple. It was so simple, but it was so perfect. We met at a park. So we picked a park. Parks in this area, or at least that particular park, the park shelters can't be reserved until the 31st of March. So this was like even the spring and summer season of being able to reserve them. It also meant we didn't have to pay for one. So one of the people in the group scouted it out and said, hey, nobody's here. I'm setting up our stuff. Like, we got this shelter. So it was the very first shelter when you come into the park. And what we had told people was, bring a doll or two or three, dress them in spring clothing. We'll have a backup plan if there's bad weather, because it's spring and it's Ohio, but hopefully weather cooperates, and it did. And bring spring things if you have any spring props. So the Facebook group was really nice because creating an event on there allows people to say, I have this. Is anybody interested in me bringing it? I'm planning on bringing this. So there was a thread just for like, what are you going to bring? So we brought the Our Generation swing. It's like got like a pergola kind of awning or archway, and then the white swing. Blair's arch thing, the white like wedding arch, and an off-brand market that I've used before for like I think I've used it for my pumpkin patch. I've used it for a lot of things. I got it for like $1 or $2 at Goodwill. So yeah, those were the things that, like, the bigger structures we brought. And then I picked 2 dolls and Grace picked 4. She was like, I couldn't narrow it down any more than that. That's fine. And a little wagon and one of the caring for babies. I think that was mainly it. And then other things like glue dots and, a hairbrush and clear hair ties for holding things. And when we showed up, so 10 people had said they were going, like marked themselves going to the event. 12 had said they were interested. In all, we had 15 people there. So I thought that was great. Usually at events, I don't know, usually if 10 say they're going, it's going to be less than that even show up. So we knew, like, these people are definitely going, and then a few of them that said going, we were like, I don't know, they may not, who knows. So 15, it was lovely. Weather was perfect. It was free. Most people who brought things showed up with like either a tote or a little laundry basket or the big reusable American Girl shopping bags. But something about that size, and I'll put some pictures up here so you can see like a few people's what they brought. And nobody was in a wheelchair, but it would have been really accessible because the parking was there, and then you could just roll right over to the shelter. There weren't any steps or anything, so that, it felt like it was very accessible, free. We had made a decision not to make the first meetup like an indoors, not at anybody's house, not just for safety, but for people's comfort level. Not even like at a restaurant or a community room in a church or a library or whatever, because we don't all know each other well yet. And people's level of social anxiety and comfort and introvert and extrovert and all of those things vary. So we felt like having an event that was specifically for photo shoot. Like the event is get together for spring photo shoot with your dolls. And it allowed people who wanted to chat and get to know each other more and be social and have that energy stayed and chatted in the like under the shelter. And then everybody could like break off and go do pictures, but that also meant that introverts could kind of go off and take pictures and get a little break from the stimulation and not feel weird about it. So that I think was helpful to people. It was also really cool because I got to take pictures of one of my dolls with Claudie's scooter, which I don't own, and with maybe Molly's bicycle, but one of the bicycles, which I don't own. And other people were like, hey, can I borrow your Blair's pergola or Blair's archway? I'm like, yeah, that's what I brought it for. Like everybody was just sharing all of the props. Somebody set up a like kind of market, all these different little market stands, table and chairs and different things like an outdoor farmer's market. And so you could bring your dolls over to the table and use any of that stuff and kind of have them in their own scene. It was so nice. Like, it was easy for each person because you didn't have to bring that much. If you didn't have anything but your dolls, that was fine. I'm sure some people just brought a doll or two, and that was great. Some of us have large collections with a bunch of stuff, and we were happy to bring a few things and then also get to take pictures with other things we don't have. And yeah, I think it was a really good mix. If you are interested in trying to do something locally in your community, this might be a good way. I think it also was really nice. Like, I'll take pictures, doll pictures in front of anybody, I don't care. But I know not everybody's in that situation. So I think it was nice for people who aren't as comfortable taking doll pictures out in public to be part of a group where, you know, the judgment's either not going to happen because people are just going on about their merry business, which was mostly the case, or if it did, it's the whole group. Like, it's not just you. So I think that was a really nice aspect of it. And I personally would like to do this 4 times a year. Like, I would like to do other meetups. We have all kinds of other ideas. I'm like so excited. But I think it would be easy to do a spring meetup for photos, a summer meetup for photos, and the same thing for fall and winter, of course. Winter in Ohio, we'd probably be like, everybody's on standby. Get all your stuff in a bag, and then if it snows, we're meeting here. I don't know. Winter could be trickier, but at least for 3 out of the 4 seasons, this would be easy enough to do. We're already thinking about like maybe doing a swap meet where everybody brings like a tote full of things that they have to sell and a sheet or a blanket, and we go to a park and you just set your stuff out on your own sheet or blanket, and we kind of mill about, chat and mingle, but also maybe get some clutter out of your house, get some other deals, recycle things, and like skill building things. I would love to do an overnight, like where we rent a cabin or something, and you do like workshops, like learning how to rehab dolls, or world building for characters, or crafting projects for your dolls, all kinds of fun things. And then like it's an overnight and you do lots of overnight photo shoots of slumber party stuff for the dolls, and then the next morning maybe make breakfast like following one of the recipes from the historical girls cookbooks. How fun would that be? How fun would that be? And I think aside from meeting people and connecting with people, which was probably the most important part for a lot of us, it is nice to focus on some aspects of doll collecting that aren't just the consumerism portion. And I know I haven't been doing my channel that long, but I see the numbers on different videos. I know that the videos that do the best are unboxings and hot takes and expensive and rare dolls. And a lot of times it's the stuff that is more about consumerism, what we buy, what we acquire. There's nothing wrong with that. I make those videos. I'm not judgy. But I also really find it edifying to connect with people around like the creative parts of this, around the story parts of why different dolls are important to different people, or the role that these dolls have had in their lives over time, or what creative things they're doing with their dolls on a day-to-day basis. And that is something that I think an in-person group really could, balance out. I was talking to somebody else about that, like just hoping that they weren't thinking I'm judging. They're like, no, we like those videos. We like to see people find their Holy Grail outfit after looking for a while, or we love to see somebody's amazing deal that they found while they were out thrifting. But also, like, building skills and making human connections and being able to recycle some stuff and, getting together and like just nerding out and talking trivia with people and all the kinds of things, like imagining the doll that you would like to see, or sharing the worlds that you've created around certain dolls. There are people who build elaborate characters and backstories and interwoven things for the dolls in their lives, and that's so cool. I'm just so excited. My heart is full. I could not have asked for it to go better. Our next thing is in July 21st. So if anybody lives in the Central Ohio area, I think the next one is probably going to be similar, like more of a summer themed, but it's outdoors at a park. Bring some things, do some outdoor pictures. It's a really good, like, ease into it kind of group activity before we do anything that's indoors where people are going to be like sitting around a table for a prolonged period of time, or I don't know. I think that it, one, you get creative ideas and all of the positive things that I've already mentioned, but also I just think that it's good for people who maybe are socially like a little bit more hesitant to jump into a group, to do some activities that you come together, but also you have your time and your space to spread out. So yeah, let me know in the comments, is this something that you have done before? Like met up with people in real life and pictures, and maybe people that you didn't even know before, but just a gathering like that. Is it something that you would go to? Obviously, if you're in Central Ohio, you can join the Facebook group, or you're willing to travel here, you can join the Facebook group. But is it something that you would ever consider doing in your community? I don't know. Whatever is relevant and doll related. Also, have you ever sat in this chair? Any of these at any of the stores, or specifically in this one? That would be so cool to know. Who has sat in the birthday girl chair in the bistro at American Girl Columbus? Because I'm sitting in the same spot you sat. How cool is that? All right. If you have any familiarity with my channel, I'll be back real soon. And I'm going to go ahead and do like a short slideshow after this, just to show you some of my favorite pictures from the ones that we took, and maybe a few others that other people took if I get their permission first. And then I won't come back on at the end. Just subscribe if you haven't, like, comment, all that good stuff, and I will be back. Oh yeah, I'll put up a playlist and a video, so if you want to binge watch, you can. Lots of videos to choose from, and I'll be back within a week with another video. Take care.